One of the many questions I get asked by business owners and accountants is what is the difference between a self-invested personal pension and a small self-administered scheme, often referred to SIPPs and SSAS. They are very similar in their investment flexibility and structure, however they do have a few core differentiating characteristics which often make them more suited to certain situations. So I thought I'd just run through these key characteristics. Firstly, a SSAS is bound by its own individual scheme rules and is a separate entity, whereas a SIPP is often established under a master trust and the rules are set by the provider. There is a difference in the regulation. SSASs fall under the jurisdiction of the pension regulator, whereas a SIPP is governed by the Financial Conduct Authority. A trading limited company is required to establish a SSAS as it's an occupational scheme, whereas a SIPP can be established by an individual. This feature means a SSAS has the ability to make a loan to a connected employer, whereas a SIPP would incur significant charges if this incurred. Both can hold shares in a sponsoring employer, but the SSAS is a lot more restrictive, whereas a SIPP can hold connected shares. It is important to satisfy the taxable property rules in this instance to avoid additional tax, but theoretically they can hold up to 100%. Many providers would restrict this to below 50% to protect the client. A SSAS has the ability to accept unallocated contributions in excess of the annual allowance. There are certain requirements needed to be able to facilitate this, and I'd recommend that this is primarily instigated by the accountant. And on the other hand, there are also many different types of SIPPs on the market, all differing in cost and flexibility, and their suitability for a client is very dependent on specific circumstances such as their goals and affordability. So that was just a quick video explaining how the key differentiators between a SSAS and a SIPP. Hopefully that was useful to you all. This obviously isn't advice, but if you or any other businesses that you work with are exploring how to maximise their pension, then please do speak to me and I'll be able to advise you on the best approach.